Hi guys, it's Jess from RuNyx Fiction and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my October TBR. Alright guys, so before we get into this video, I just want to talk about the types of books I'm going to be reading in October. So obviously October is the perfect time to read some spooky and thriller books. I will have a lot of those on this list. I also have a couple YA fantasies that I'm very excited to be jumping into. Also some new adult romances and just some romances in general. I will say this is not my complete October TBR. I do plan on participating in Camp Weekend-ween, which is hosted by Olivia Reads a Latte and Gabby Reads. I'm so excited. I participated in Summer Ween and had a great time. So I believe that is the weekend of Halloween. I will put up a separate Camp Weekend-ween TBR when it gets a little closer to that date. So with that being said, if you're unfamiliar with my channel, I post new videos every Thursday and Sunday, and if you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. You can also hit that notification bell to be notified whenever you post new bookish content. You can also check out my Instagram. It is linked down in the description below. And yeah, with that being said, let's get into the list. All right, so starting off with YA Fantasy. If you're familiar with my channel, this might surprise some of you. I really want to check out Defy the Night by Brigid Kemmerer. So I am not a huge fan of A Curse So Dark and Lonely, which is the Beauty and the Beast retelling that she wrote last year. I believe that's 3 books. I only read the first one and I didn't love it. However, Defy the Night apparently is a spin on Robin Hood, which is by far, firstly, my favorite Disney movie because, oh my gosh, I just watched that movie over and over when I was younger. Absolute favorite. And I also feel like it's more of an obscure Disney movie. Not a lot of people's favorite is Robin Hood. And I think the story is just very unique, and I've never read, I don't think, a Robin Hood retelling. So I think it's going to be a really good time, and I'm very much looking forward to it. I have a suspicion that the Fairy Loot book for September is going to be Defy the Night, or at least I hope it is. So whenever I get that package, I will start reading that. And next up is a YA, I think it's a YA thriller, and I'm so pumped to read this. And that is White Smoke by Tiffany D. Jackson. This has been pitched as The Haunting of Hill House meets Get Out, and I can't wait. I love a haunted house story. They are one of my favorite books to read around October and the spooky season, and I've heard nothing but good things about this, so I'm so excited to read it. I was gonna wait for Camp Weekend-ween to read this. However, I don't think I can wait that long. Like, I need to know what happens in this book, so I'm very excited. I might actually vlog reading this just because I feel like this book is gaining a lot of popularity on BookTube right now. So let me know in the comments if that's something you want to see. But overall, very excited to read this. All right, the next book is a YA contemporary, and Goodreads seems to be loving this. I don't typically look on Goodreads, but this book has like nothing but great reviews. And that is Afterlove, and this is by Tanya Byrne. This is actually the Fairy Loot edition, and it is so pretty. If my camera wants to focus, there we go. And then it has these beautiful pink sprayed edges. I actually talked about this book in my Prettiest Book I Own video. I'll link that down in the cards and in the description. But this is a sapphic love story about 2 girls. I believe one of them gets into a tragic accident and is still trying to keep a relationship with the surviving partner. I could be completely wrong. I didn't look too much into the summary, but just judging by how many people love this book, I can't wait to read it. All right, moving into new adult and new adult fantasy. These books just have a little bit more spice than the previous 2. So the first one is Gothikana, and this is by RuNyx, I believe is how you say the author. I will leave them on the screen. But this has been all over Book Talk, and I'm so excited. It is apparently dark academia about this girl who ends up going to this boarding school that is like this mysterious rundown castle in the middle of nowhere. And I think she ends up having like some sort of affair with her professor. And I'm so excited. It just sounds like the perfect like gothic horror with spice. It's gonna be a good time. So very excited to be picking that up this fall. And next up we have The Bone Witch, and this is by Ivy Asher. I don't know very much about this, to be honest with you. If you're noticing a trend here, I try not to read synopsis because I feel like they spoil me. It's happened a few times where I've just been completely ruined from a book because I read something, and yeah. Anyway, All I know about this is a girl who ends up inheriting these powers that she was not expecting. She was expecting these powers to go to someone else in her family, and now she has to deal with controlling them. And while this is going on, I think there's a demon or someone after her trying to kill her. So it sounds like a good time. And this cover just screams Halloween, scary time, spooky time, and throw some spice in. I think it's gonna be awesome. And the last new adult book on this list is Hideaway, and this is by Penelope Douglas. This is the second book in the Devil's Night series, which first started with Corrupt. I can't say very much about this or the synopsis because I feel like it does give away spoilers for the first book. However, I do plan on reading this entire series, and I did start vlogging it. I don't know if I'm gonna continue vlogging it. Let me know in the comments if it's something you'd wanna see. This series in general, it's a very dark romance. I will leave I'll leave a link in the cards in the description to my Penelope Douglas review or recommendations video, so that way you have an idea of what the series is about. But anyway, this follows one of the characters in that first book, and so far I'm loving it, and I hope to finish it by the end of October. All right, next up is another book that I'm actually even surprised myself that I want to pick up, but Empire of the Vampire by Kristoff. So a while ago, I read Nevernight, the first book. I wasn't too crazy about the writing. I thought the story was fine. I just didn't love his writing style. I've never picked up anything else by Kristoff. He might have a similar, obviously he's a writer, he probably has a similar writing style for all of his works. But I might like this one a little bit more. I've heard very good things about it. A few of you have recommended I pick it up. So I want to give it a shot. So I don't know. Once again, very much, I know Empire of the Vampire, obviously, it features vampires. Fun fact, I am terrified of vampires. It is the one horror movie like trope that I cannot watch. I don't know why. I have nightmares for weeks, but it's hot October. It's almost Halloween. I figured now's a really good time to be scared. So I'm interested, I'm intrigued, and we'll see how I like Empire of the Vampire. And moving into thrillers, the first one is The Woods Are Always Watching, and this is by Stephanie Perkins. So this is about two best friends that were always outsiders who love the outdoors, they love hiking. They end up going on this hike in the middle of nowhere in this very dark and scary wood, and then odd things and disturbing things start happening. And apparently the pacing in this is very good. It's very edge of your seat, and I'm very excited to be reading this. I love creepy dark wood settings. Me and my husband just moved to a house that is pretty much located in the middle of nowhere. Like, our neighbors are not very close to us, and we are in the middle of the woods. So I just think it's gonna be a very fun book to light a candle and read during the spooky season. And the last two books on this list are both by Riley Sager. So the first one is Lock Every Door. I think I had this on my August TBR and my June TBR. I am going to read it in October. This follows a girl who is down on her luck, has no money, and she sees an ad for asking for someone to move into a new, I think it's New York City penthouse, to get paid like a crazy amount of money. So she ends up jumping at the opportunity. And then when she gets there, she realizes that there's some interesting things occurring. She's not allowed to talk to her neighbors. I think some of her neighbors end up disappearing, and it goes from there. I love Riley Sager. His books are just so twisty and awesome, and they're just amazing. So I'm very excited to pick this up. And the last book I want to read is Final Girls by Riley Sager. So I read The Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix, and it is by far my least favorite Grady Hendrix book. It just didn't work for me. I didn't love the characters, the pacing was weird, I just didn't love the story. However, a lot of you have said that Final Girls has a very similar plot, but you guys enjoyed it a lot more. I don't think I was alone in saying I didn't love The Final Girl Support Group. It seems to be getting very mixed reviews, but I'm very excited to read Riley Sager's version. So I will definitely be picking up The Final Girls by Riley Sager. For those of you who don't know what either book is about, it's a girl who ends up surviving an attack. So she is the final girl, and she meets up with other final girls, other survivors, and I think they join some sort of group, and then I don't know if it's gonna go the same way that the Final Girls Support Group did, but Final Girls end up slowly being murdered, and you have to figure out who's doing it. So very excited to pick this up, and I think it'll be perfect for October. All right, guys, that is it for my October TBR. And just remember that I said I will be participating in Camp Weekend-ween. So there are at least 3 other books I will be reading in October. So you can look forward to that Camp Weekend-ween TBR video coming out probably mid-October, later in the month. So with that being said, if you've read any of these books, please let me know down in the comments below which were your favorite. If there are any other spooky reads you think I should check out in October, I would love to hear your recommendations. And yeah, so I will see you guys all next week. Bye.